We only got 2 more of these, baby, where I can say this. It's game day. Jets, Browns, primetime, Thursday night football. Let's friggin' go.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been on.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show. Also available wherever you get your podcasts, if you prefer. We don't discriminate here. Hey, audio, video, whatever. But as Woody said on his Instagram story the other day, you missed some of this. And maybe you want to miss that. I'm going to be honest. I just did a few dance moves. So that, with all due respect, I totally understand if you choose the other. But make sure you guys, no matter where you are, like the video, hit subscribe. Make sure you show your support wherever you're watching Heavy on Jets, YouTube, or the Twitter sphere. We appreciate you all the same. Without further ado, it is a game day, baby. Thursday night football. I'm in 2 fantasy football championship games, and in both I have the Jets defense, and then in one of those leagues, I not only have the Jets defense, but I have Garrett gosh darn Wilson, baby, and I'm starting them with pride, I'm starting them with confidence, and I'm ready to kick a can of whoop ass and come home with a couple of belts, couple of titles, kind of walking in. That's what I'm feeling. Anywho, someone else is walking in with a little chutzpah, if I may. James gosh darn Woody, which is his actual last name. Let's bring him in. Woody, good morning.
Oh, well, I gotta find this chutzpah because I'm limping over here to the finish line. I got a cramp. Pull the hammy. Trying to get to this finish line of this very, very depressing season. Both Jets and Wugs are line. Didn't make it. And, just last week, they had the most points in the league. Like, if we had made it, we would have been doing some serious work. But that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you get the down week right at the wrong time. For the Jets, that's happened about 9 times already this season. But yes, I'm not there. But I'm wishing you, Boy Green, and I will say, starting the Jets defense with confidence, it's the right move.
Thank you, pal. Thank you. You will get a piece of this championship once I firmly secure it coming up this weekend. You want to know what I respect, Woody? You want to know what I respect is that 2 things. First off, you always lay it out on the line. You're just unequivocally, unapologetically yourself. And I think people respect that kind of authenticity. We don't get that in 2023. And we only have a couple of days left in 2023, so that and in 2024. But number 2, that you would show up on this show wearing your number 14 Trevor Siemian jersey. I freaking love it, man. I freaking love it. Wow. Number 14. Show the crowd. Come on, stand up. Show them that 14, baby. Show them that 14 Trevor Siemian. Come on. Show them a little love. Look at that, baby.
Definitely not Trevor Siemian. He is terrible. It is so embarrassing.
That's Trevor Siemian. Come on. That's Trevor Siemian. We know. That's Trevor Siemian. It's okay. Nope. This is doctored, edited footage. That's definitely Siemian. That's you just they get. Did you get one of those Chinese jersey shirts where they misspell the back all the time? Boy, it's not worth it, man. Just pay the proper price, and you would have gotten your Trevor Siemian jersey shirt like you requested. So
no, this is I think. What is this, like?
Is that the new 49ers starting quarterback then? Is that who it is? Is that the new 49ers starting quarterback?
The Super Bowl MVP of this season. That might actually take place. Somebody.
I'm going to be honest. I went a little crazy on Twitter as soon as Brock Purdy gets hurt. Darnold comes in. I'm like, oh baby. And then there's a little chutzpah. Speaking of chutzpah, there's a little bit of chutzpah there. I know it ended up being bad, but I mean, come on. He was in with like they were down 1,000. Like, come on, what was he supposed to do? For God's sakes, he just ran out of time. If you gave him 60 minutes, maybe beats that Ravens team. Who knows? But old Sammy, we're getting a little of those. Okay, so something to root for. I'll be like, okay, there he is. There's Darnold. There he is. Not too shabby on in his spot action.
He's always at the chutzpah. It's just that he played
too
for
much
an organization that gave him a 45-year-old running back, and Rashad Perriman. That's just
Weapons, baby, weapons. Hey, by the way, you know what's funny? I don't know if funny is the right word, but Trevor Siemian, the last time he was in a Jets uniform playing the Cleveland Browns in primetime, Myles Garrett made his leg explode, and he was out for the season back in 2019. But interestingly enough, which brings us full circle, he was replacing Sam Darnold, who had mononucleosis. Apparently, he was tonguing someone at a club, and he got a little bit of that ostrich action, and booyah, all of a sudden Darnold was outski. And that's how Siemian came full circle, although his run with the Jets lasted about a quarter, and then he was out for the year and then went to other teams. But hey, man, it's all full circle here, baby.
Double revenge game. Siemian, he's probably, looking at Myles Garrett. I can't believe that. And we know that Joe Flacco will be looking at the Jets sideline, just being like, could have had this, even though I fully 100%, it's one of the few Jets decisions that I 100% stood by at the time and still will stand by 10 times out of 10. There's no stop that. Oh, could have had Flacco would literally disintegrate into dust behind this offensive line. Pops,
you're going against your father here. You're going against your father.
I don't want to disappoint you, but I promise you there's absolutely no way, and Woody means no way, that Flacco would be doing anything of value behind this team. He would just be an older Tim Boyle.
Oh, that's okay. I will say this. Now, I think the offensive line for the Jets obviously has been piss poor all year, and that it's hard for me because Joe Flacco was here last year, and we saw the immediate strip sack in Buffalo, and there was just a lot of bad when we saw Flacco out there. A level of disinterest, it appeared like, why am I here? His face always looked like that all the time. Like, oh God, I really wish I could be anywhere else on the planet. So there was a little bit of that action happening. But I will say that he's obviously more proven, more experienced than Siemian and Boyle combined. So he would have been maybe not the right option initially as backup, but in the middle of the year, better than some of those other guys, potentially. That would have been interesting. But nonetheless, why don't we start off this Woody 3 game day properly? I don't do this, but for those who do, a proper cup of Joe. Why don't we a little proper cup of Joe here for 3 things that Woody's looking for the Jets-Browns game today, game day, Woody 3. And number 1, a little cup of Joe. What, you want to serve us up something? A hot cup of Joe here?
Well, I am here to just break the whole propaganda. Okay, the propaganda that the media, the media, they got agendas, man. They got agendas. They act like winning is purely a QB stat. It's not. It's a team stat. They always show Joe Flacco's yards and touchdowns. Right, he's had
phenomenal
300 in all the wins, and at least 2 in all the wins. But also in all the wins, he's had either 2 or 3 turnovers. The man has been a turnover machine that has been getting bailed out by one of the more elite defenses in football. Does that sound like anybody that we know? Any quarterback that's played for the Jets in the last 2 years, great. So it's more of that, only their offensive line, which is actually also very injured, is playing better than the Jets' offensive line. That's the only thing here. Flacco didn't just magically become better. He had 300-yard games with the Jets. He had 4 TDs against the Browns in that miracle win last year. So nothing
nice.
has changed. Flacco is not magically better. He is still absolute garbage, but he has a great defense, a better OC, right? That's more comfortable than our sophomore year OC. So this cup of Joe, is it going to be hot? What the media is going to tell you? Oh, Joe's coming in. Hot. Hey, Joe, Joe cool? Or is it just going to be a cold, yucky, disgusting, old piece of garbage that should have been thrown out?
Good night. Wow.
I'm going to go with the latter.
Okay. So again, I guess I reiterate after this stat, I should feel very confident about my playing of the Jets defense tonight in 2 fantasy championship games.
That is exactly it. There's going to be turnovers. I mean, will it be a pick six? We don't know. Are we?
Ooh, that'd be nice.
There's going to be fumbles because he's had multiple interceptions, but also lost fumbles. So I mean, it could be a variety. We've already seen Quincy Williams get each forced fumbles, recovered fumbles, and picks. Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen had a pick this year. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I would definitely be excited if my name is Boy Green. I'm in these 2 championships with the Jets defense leading the way.
Yeah, here's something that I've seen some stats thrown out, perhaps media agendas and narratives and things of that nature. Joe Flacco, since becoming the starter, again, it's only a 4-game sample size. He's 3-1 in those games. He is first in passing yards of any quarterback during that span and tied for first in passing touchdowns over that same span. So let Flacco cook. Or as I saw someone say, who was that? I think it was like Skip Bayless or something. They let Russ cook, but the pilot went out or something, which was a funny tweet that went out there. So maybe the same thing for old Cup of Joe here, but revenge game. Some juicy narratives there tonight. I'm going to be honest, Woody. I really love your labels for all these bullet points. They always make me laugh or chortle or a good giggle in there for sure. Like Catch 42. How well done is that? Catch 42 ahead of the 1K. Well done, sir. Well done.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, Boy Green, and I certainly appreciate the play of Garrett Wilson. I mean, what he's been able to do despite his horrific circumstances is amazing. So we got 42 yards to the 1K. It was your tweet, Boy Green, that actually helped me realize that this was so important to him, right? He wanted the 1,000 yards. Start off with 2 straight. Now we're could be the next Mike Evans. I'm just you have the streak until you don't. So let's get that going. If he was interested in having a new career high, he's not far away from that either. He needs 146 yards to get.
That's doable in 2 games. It's totally doable.
That's definitely doable, and he's gotten 146 yards in back-to-back games a few times already this season. Like that's happened. He actually had as many as 190 in back-to-back games. So I know with the Pats next week and Belichick that may be a little bit tougher, right? He likes to take out that number 1 option. But maybe that number 1 option is Breeze. Breeze led the team in receiving yards a few of the last couple games. So we'll see what happens. But 42 for the 1,000, that's probably Garrett's bare minimum. But, I mean, I think we should also be looking for 146. It's just not as cute to say catch 146. So 42, we're going to start with you.
Wow, I love this. And I was unaware of this stat that you included in here. Again, you could guys check out the full columns of some of these pieces for the Jet Press. But you mentioned he's only failed to reach 42 yards in 3 games so far this season. So, again, 42 didn't seem like a lot on the surface anyway. But to hear that statistic that, hey, he's kind of had this solid floor of surpassing that anyway, it really sets up beautifully. I know everyone's talking about, if the Browns win or tie the Jets tonight, they punch their ticket to the playoffs. But Garrett Wilson can punch his ticket to another 1K. I'm sure he's looking at Mike Evans over there in Tampa going, what's a 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons? I'd love to join you, sir. And he's doing it with, again, 7 quarterbacks in his first 2 seasons. And if Brett Rippon gets in this week or next week, that will be 8 quarterbacks to like I want that equation. Okay, 8 quarterbacks squared times the root of this equals this production. And again, it just stuns me because when I take a step back and I say, man, what would or could with 2024, around the corner, what could that look like with Aaron Rodgers? Like, what kind of friggin' numbers are we talking about? If he's doing this with 7 different rando quarterbacks, imagine one guy all season, same guy, and Garrett is the focus of the team, the offense. Like, of course, we're getting targets like Devontae Adams or get targets with the Packers. That's what I'm really to see this production. You're like, whoa, and to see what it could be with like a Rodgers all year. Oh, spicy.
Definitely,
No,
definitely. And that's again somebody who is young, right? Who is just rising despite the horrific circumstance we've put him in, and perhaps we're about to see some more elevation because we got some other players that are young and restless. I will never forgive the Jets social media team for forcing, let me not say forcing, but for shoving Jason Brownlee off-season clips, training camp clips, clips nonstop. Just preseason, this boy is the
wide
future.
receiver 1, baby. Yeah,
Had his own storyline and Hard Knocks. He was the future. And then even with Alan Lazard becoming a healthy scratch, the boy Brownlee couldn't find the field. Even with McCole Hardman, for some reason, just going back to Kansas City. Kansas City, here he comes. Brownlee can't find. I don't even understand what they did. What was wrong with him? Maybe they say he can't do special teams. The Denzel Mims thing. I have no idea what their excuse is. But last week he got his first NFL touchdown. Definitely a big moment for him. Izzy, we talked about that, Boy Green. It's actually funny we talked about that because I think even last week it came up again, and then they must have heard us. And now he gets 9 carries for 43 yards. Very respectable, given the amount of touches and then that output was real nice.
a clip, very nice.
Carter Warren start. He might get the start. Zach Kuntz now with Jeremy Ruckert out. So a lot of young guys that should be getting a lot of minutes. So it's a nice way to see where the team is at. I don't know if we're gonna like what we see, but we're gonna see stuff.
Well, again, and I think I tweeted it out. It was yesterday, the day before, that basically this is what these last 2 games are about. When you're mathematically eliminated, like the Jets are, the Browns aren't. Obviously, like I said, with a winner tie tonight, even if the Browns tie, they punch their ticket to the playoffs according to the NFL playoff scenarios that they released on what the teams have to do to make it in. This is what it is, Jet fans, for what you're hoping for this, that, or anything, is these young players carving out roles, because the Jets are the next 2 weeks. They're not finality. There's things that can change, but over the next 2 weeks, they are deciding the Jets going, okay, Kuhn shows something in this game or the next game or something. Okay. He's part of the plan. Someone shows up, they give a chance who sucks. He's not part of the plan. Like, they're making these determinations over these final handful of games. And of course, it's for us as fans to have something to root for. Some of these young guys getting ops and doing things with it. That's another massive point of interest. So I am excited. We'll see. Izzy, I think, was battling an ankle. So we'll see if he'll be good. I know those actives will come out and probably a long time, because we have Thursday Night Football. They'll do it probably 4 or 5-ish, something like that. We'll get some of the actives list coming out, so we got to keep an eye out for a couple of these for some of those injury situations. Oh, and Dwayne Brown. Let's pour one out. Wherever Dwayne Brown was placed on IR, his season's over, and as Rich Samini pointed out, likely his career is over. So 2 years, $20 million. Let's pour that out. Let's pour that out there. Very nice for old Dwayne Brown. Won the Warrior Award, created actually his own award. So shout out to Dwayne Brown, baby. I can't believe it took us 19 minutes to get to Dwayne Brown. Any words you'd like to speak for Dwayne Brown, Woody?
Let Dwayne Brown join Ryan Khalil as a just living, breathing example on this earth of Joe Douglas not really knowing how to build a position in which he played and has vowed to build 4 years ago. He told
Yeah.
one quarterback's parents that he would protect them, lied completely. Now the next quarterback can't
Yeah.
do anything for them. Uh, it's a sad day. Um, it's a sad time. We're 4 years
Mm.
into that time, and
Yeah.
Woody is committed
5
to
years, really.
everybody.
I mean, yeah.
So good luck, Aaron.
Yeah, so I imagine Dwayne Brown will not be returning. Spoiler alert to the team next year. I believe Mekhi Becton will not be, although that one's possible. I don't think he. Let me rephrase that. I don't think he comes back as a slam dunk starter. That being Mekhi Becton, I think Dwayne Brown's totally gone. I don't think Mekhi Becton comes back as a slam dunk starter. I think there's a chance if he goes out into the free agent waters and does not get the deal he's seeking. Like everyone basically says the same thing: 1 year prove deal. That's all you're getting, pal. We're not giving you the money because of the injury history and things of that nature. That's possible. It's also possible someone's like, he's young and desperation and free agency, and someone pays him. That's also possible. Dwayne Brown got 2 years, $20 million. Could Mekhi, fetch something of that nature? Maybe. So with the Aaron Rodgers relationship, maybe he's able to lure him back and say, hey, 1 year prove it. Like, let's go. Let's make a chase for a chip. And then he's in the room as competition or something. So maybe that's possible. But he's probably gone too. So you got 2 holes minimum. And then whatever the Jets decide to do with Lakin, they could create $8 million, but they could have $10 million in dead cap. So, kind of depends what you're going to do there. But yeah, there's going to be some shuffling. There's going to be some shuffling on the O line. But the Jets got to get it right. Again, I will never forgive the Jets if after this Aaron Rodgers run is over, however long it lasts, and the reason he failed was poor offensive line play, not being able to hold them up. Jets fans and the organization have been begging for a quarterback. They've swung and missed. Bryce Petty's, Christian Hackenberg, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson's, all these dudes over the course of time. Geno Smith's, all these guys, and they haven't worked. And then finally you get a guy in Aaron Rodgers, and then you can't protect him. That would be one of the greatest sins of all time if they can't do that. So I am truly hoping that the Jets go to the board here, and they really, truly take it all in and just do whatever is necessary to fix this and do it. It's easier said than done. I'm going to be honest. I loved Joe Douglas's creativity, convincing Ryan Khalil off the couch out of retirement. Come on in. Dwayne Brown, desperation. Mekhi Becton blows out his legs like, Dwayne, here's the money. Blank check. Slide it over. Like, he's been a little crazy. And by the way, is Roger Saffold alive? Is he like I saw the transaction that he, signed with the Jets back in October. It's almost the end of 2023. Has anyone seen his whereabouts? I was at a local gas station. I think I saw his poster, but it was like a worn out poster of like, have you seen this man? I'm like, he looks relatively familiar, but I'm not exact. I can't quite pinpoint it. Where the hell's Roger Saffold? He was a Pro Bowler the last 2 years. What the hell? Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely one of the greater questions someone could ask. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, and where in New Jersey is Roger Saffold? We don't know. We truly don't know. All I do know is that Douglas continues to make the wrong decision. Here's a shout out, Morgan
Okay.
Moses, my boy.
Yeah.
He was a nice cheap signing. Had a fantastic year. The year that Moses played as a Jet, and I'm not saying this is all because of him. It was really actually because of health. But he was healthy. He was one of the healthy linchpins that gave the Jets the 11th ranked offensive line that year. That was 2021. It was Zach Wilson's rookie year. It was the only year of Joe Douglas's tenure where the offensive line had a ranking that didn't start with the number 3. Right, 30, 31, 32. We had the 11th ranked offensive line, and he could have.
That was another late addition. Remember, that was, if I remember, May, June. I was on a vacation, and when the Jets signed him, I pulled over, and my fiance's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got to do a quick video. Morgan Moses is like, excuse me? She's like, no, we're going to freaking. I'm like, well, I'm at least doing a tweet, and then we compromised on that. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Compromise.
But yeah,
Yes.
that's what it's all about.
But do you know where he is now?
He's on Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he might be playing in the Super Bowl, right? And the deal that they gave him was a very affordable deal. Like, I don't know, like, Douglas, he just, chooses the wrong guys, puts that commitment into the wrong guy. He didn't even give Moses anything close to 2 years, 20 mil, like Dwayne Brown, old
Well, they
man
try.
Brown.
Well, I will say this. I will jump in to correct Woody, and I will accept your full apology. When the
Okay,
Jets were
I'm prepared
speaking,
to write.
that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Paul's always right, but that's all right. Yeah, there you go. Pull out the pen. Okay. When the Jets were negotiating with Morgan Moses, they put on the table a 2-year deal. They wanted to give him, and almost they talked about a straight up 2-year deal, and then the second year being an option part of the deal. And after all the conversating, Morgan just went, F this. I just want a straight up 1-year deal, and then I get hit free agency. And that's ultimately what they settled on. They tried to get him for 2 years, but he said, no, sorry, no.
But what
Although
about
they
after
did
that 1
negotiate.
year? So after that 1 year, so you're saying that you feel like he would just wanted the 1 year to prove it so that he can go somewhere else?
Yeah, so he could, because like remember, Washington dumps him because Washington is dumb and they do dumbass stuff all the time. They just straight up cut him. He hits free agency. The Jets are the team that were willing to go to the highest price point for the immediacy, and then he's like, so I could do 1 year, show I'm all that, because he obviously believed in himself to buy into that, and then I could hit the open market again and go like, hey, here's my money. Although, relatively speaking, he didn't get the money I'm sure he was hoping for from Baltimore. And they got like the steal of steals from a value standpoint, which could go back to a Joe Douglas, Robbie Anderson thing. Remember where he's like, my people have told me you're worth insert. And then this time he's like, oh, shit. Whoopsie. Yeah. So that same thing could have happened. You could accuse him of that. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, consider him accused.
which is fair. That is fair. Okay, before we get out of here, Woody, besides our predictions, we actually had a YouTube super chat in from Phil, and we'll put this up. Morning, gents. Who's the best free agent offensive lineman we can get this offseason? And I went to the old spot track and said, okay, who are the free agents to be? And I will throw some of them out there, Woody, and you say yay or nay. All right. Or if you can explain yourself. Okay. So here are the best, and it's ranked by their average contract here in 2023. So the more higher paid guys are higher on this list. So let me throw them out. And all these names I'm about to list are all unrestricted free agents to come this offseason. Okay. Jason Kelsey.
Nay. What? I mean, he's not. I don't think he's going to leave anyway.
Exactly. So that's what I say on your yay or nay. You can add the context of like he ain't leaving Phil. He's like going to retire, come back there. So he's cool, and you'd have to kick like Tippmann to guard. But I just don't think it's realistic because he ain't leaving. So
that's a Madden. That's a Madden move right there.
That's a Madden move. I would submit an offer on a Madden move. Okay, next guy up. This guy is super fascinating. Tyron Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. When he's healthy, he's been balling.
Yeah, that's but like that's literally specifically the issue with the offensive line.
He's 33, according to Spot Track here. So
I might have to hit nay. I might have to hit him with the nay.
You're punting.
The nay. Yeah. I feel like that's just more of the same. Even though high ceiling, very low floor with the injuries and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to say nay.
But the Jets would be the normal. What's the right way to put this? It would be the normal Jet thing to do to overpay for Tyron Smith. He comes here and then can't stay healthy. That'd be a very Jets thing to do. Okay, here's the next guy on the list. Andres Pete. He's the New Orleans Saints guy. He's played both guard and tackle, so I don't know what he would play with the Jets, but he's the next highest paid. Again, it's going by their 2023 salary, so he's the next guy on the list. Andres Pete. He's 30 years old, coming from the New Orleans Saints.
I'm gonna have to go with yay. This specific regime, this specific regime likes flexibility, right? That's why they have AVT. Now that may be the reason why he keeps getting hurt, doing all this, hot potato with his job. But just having another guy out there that can do that, that's played. I mean, the the Saints, what they've been able to accomplish, with the line I'm talking about, for Alvin Kamara and stuff. Pete, come on down, come on down.
Okay. The next guy on this list, you may have heard of him, Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown is the next guy at $10 million per year average. He's the next guy on the free agent list. Yeah,
Allow me to insert a hell before my nay.
I see.
Hell nay.
Okay. And there's a couple more I want to get to just because they're relatively bigger names of people the Jets could consider. Kevin Zeitler, he's currently on the Baltimore Ravens. He's getting older. He's probably going to be 34 during the offseason. Again, I'm basing this off of Spot Track's little age thing. They call it like 33.8, which means he's like on the precipice of becoming 34. So it's kind of a weird way to do it, but, different strokes, different folks. Kevin Zeitler of the Ravens, guard.
Yeah, no, definitely. Again, great pedigree, right? I would have no problem. No, and I think I think Boy Green. Titman and AVT are really the only two linemen that I personally am rooting for. But AVT has played 7 games the last 2 seasons. So, you really need, I want to say 4 quality linemen. You really need, Zeitler, come on down. That's a big yay. Obviously, you just said 33.8, but, it's really the durability more than the age itself. So I'm going to have to go with yay. We need the help.
Just to piggyback, if the Jets keep liking, because again, I think it's 50-50 because of the dead cap. There's cap relief, but there's dead cap. And he, while has not been great, the thing he's been able to do is the attendance. He has started 133 games in a row. His best ability has been availability. When you think of all the craziness on Jets' offensive line, if you can have a guy that's always going to be there, and then hopefully if you insert better guys around him, then his play can lift. That's what you could potentially hope for, especially with the contract thing. They could straight up cut him. It could happen. I don't know. With a pre-June 1 designation, that they could just cut him as a straight guy. So we'll see. But if they do keep him, potentially having Kevin Zeitler at the other guard spot, kicking ABT to tackle is possible. Personally, for me, I want to keep ABT at guard. If it was my decision, I would keep him. But I understand it's easier to find guards and tackles, so kicking ABT will be very appealing, I'm sure, to the Jets, who are losing 2 starting tackles. They're 2 starting tackles from week 1 to free agency. I can understand they say, hey, we're a better spot would be making ABT our permanent tackle and then figuring out everything else. I could understand the Jets having that thought process coming into the offseason, which would make Zeitler even more interesting to me. Okay, let's throw a couple more names out there. Connor Williams, who is a former guard. He's also played tackle, but he's been playing center for the Miami Dolphins. He was just ruled out for the season. He kicked inside for the Miami Dolphins. Any interest there? He's one of the younger guys on here. He is 26.6 on the old age chart. There's one of the younger guys on the list.
I definitely like the division. That happens so often, right? Grabbing the guys within the division. So I'm gonna have to say yay. Again, more versatility. We know Titman, has already played center and guard. So just having another guy that can also feel comfortable playing center and guard is great. And I just want to say I do agree with your pretty much everything you said on AVT. They might kick him out to tackle permanently. But I probably, if it was up to me, I'd probably do guard. But they've been trying to keep him at guard. They've been, but
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they should just do tackle, and like you said, it's easier to find guards and tackles, and he's playing at an all-pro level at both. So maybe. And I know, oh my gosh, we never even got a chance to have the therapy session about losing Joe Alt, but you know,
Maybe it's not over. Remember the Matt Miller mock draft that he had a couple weeks ago. The Jets didn't really have the ninth pick, but the way ESPN does it, until it's official, they use their projections to say where they just believe the Jets will finish regardless. So like Tankathon could have them at 5, but ESPN could have them at 9 because that's where they projected them. And a couple weeks ago in that projection, they weren't really at 9. They are now. But he had Joe Alt falling all the way to 9 to get Joe Alt to begin with. And I went, whoa, that's interesting. So you never know. If you really think about it, let's because to help you with your praise to be Alt and holy be thou, okay, is that if you really think about it, you know what I'm talking about? Like, if you think about it, there's going to be 2 quarterbacks at 100% going, Caleb and Drake, okay? There's Marvin Harrison. He's going to go. Neighbors, the other LSU wide receiver, he's going to go. Jared Verse is the nasty pass rusher out of Florida State. He's going to go. That's 5. We're at 9. And then there's 2 tackles that I like, Alt or Fashanu. You lean Alt, but okay, there's 2 guys there. And then there's other quarterback craziness. Jaden Daniels, Penix. All of a sudden, if the right combination of crazy shit happens, which happens every year, all of a sudden the tackles go boop, 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 fall either to the Jets or within range for the Jets go, F this, trade up. They traded up for AVT, and it was a much larger jump for them. They went from 23 to 14. This time we're talking about maybe, I don't know, 9 to 7, maybe 9 to 6. Like, and again, the season's also not over yet, so more things can happen. I don't know. I don't think it's totally off the board. So we didn't do a eulogy for Joel because he ain't dead, baby. The dream is alive. It's alive. That's how I feel.
I wish I had your optimism. The big sentence that I can completely agree with is that the season is not over yet. A lot can still happen, and I think these terrible, terrible people that work at One Jets Drive really want to win out, and I think I don't. Think
I do too. I want to win out.
I don't.
I want to win out, baby.
Okay, so then stop talking about the 9th pick. All right, then you got to trade up.
All right, fine. The 32nd pick, fine. All right, here we go.
I'm telling you, it's just not going to work out. It's going to be the 13th pick. You're going to take 9 minutes and 52 seconds to pick some edge rusher. It's going to be terrible.
Wow. Well, Woody, I'm glad. I mean, like, we're in a relationship, but like not. And the way you just said, it's just not going to work out. I could just already see how you break up with somebody. I'm like, oh boy, this is incredibly. I'm just like, it can happen. It can happen. We can fall into the range. It just ain't happening, baby. It just ain't happening. I'm just like, wow, okay, that is strict. By the way, a couple of other quickies on this topic, then we'll give our predictions. So the Connor Williams, getting to stick it to a rival and add someone to your team is intriguing. This name won't be high on this list because of his contract situation. Michael Onwenu, he is the guy from the New England Patriots. Speak of versatility, guard, tackle, plays all over the place. We'll see if he gets the franchise tag or he escapes, because a couple years ago, the Patriots could have done that to Joe Thuney. They did not, and he escaped. If he escapes, he's one that I'm like, tasty. Sign me the hell up. But we'll see if the Patriots end up going. But sometimes when there's a regime change, potentially Belichick leaving and everything like that, players can slip through the cracks because of all the wild volatility. And if they reach the open market, that'd be a guy I'd be interested in, who's coming off his rookie deal. So that would be very interesting to me from that perspective. Okay, a couple other quickies. Trenton Brown, that big ass 6'8" mammoth, is friggin' 30 years old, going to turn 31, but he's had some injury issues, but he's massive. He's like Mekhi Becton level size, but he's obviously stayed a little bit healthier during his career. He has more of a sample size, obviously. What about that big Timbuktu?
I would say yay, of course.
Okay.
I mean, needs people protecting Aaron. I don't know. I know last year, like the Shanahan offensive line required movement, which is actually why they were so bad last year. Because they were just on all these guys that just couldn't move with all the injuries. This year, I'm not really sure what Keith Carter is looking for in a lineman, and based on what we've seen, I don't know if he got it. But if the behemoth works, then yeah, definitely bring him down.
Here's the last name on the list. It's and this is the one I'm afraid the Jets are actually going to bring in, because the numbers are not good. Jonah Williams. I'm afraid this is actually who they're going to bring in, and that scares the hell out of me because boy, oh boy, oh boy, the numbers aren't good. He's been terrible. He's been playing for that Bengals offensive line that gets Joe Burrow jacked up all the time. He's young. He's a former first-round pick. He's 26. Like, from that perspective, in theory, there are things to like, but I'm just a little afraid that's going to be one of the top things on there. But Phil, appreciate this. We'll get into a lot more of this kind of stuff during the off season. So appreciate that. Without further ado, Jets Browns, crystal ball it for us. Woody, who's getting the revenge? There's Elijah Moore, Joe Flacco, Trevor Simeon's leg. There's a lot of angles here.
Definitely some angles. I mean, I will say, right, this is the first Browns Jets game since the Jets miracle win, right? Yeah, it is, because that was.
Oh no, Hall of Fame game. Oh,
well, that's like a preseason game. I'm not sure if that counts, but
yes, then it will be since week 2 last year. Yeah,
I am gonna go with. I think this is gonna be a close game. I think the media.
Okay.
I really do think it's brainwashed people into thinking Joe Flacco is not terrible, which is crazy. It's so funny to me. Even that stat that you saw, right? At first in this, first in that. It literally did not say he's first in turnovers, but he is. He's number one. He leads the league in turnovers.
They left that off. They left that off the graphic.
So it's just crazy how hard they're trying to push something. But anyway, with that being said, I mean, Trevor Simeon is Trevor Simeon. So the Jets aren't going to win this game. And Dakota, he knows me so well. I'm going to go 17-14 Browns. I do think the Jets can win this game very easily, though. I do think that, because I do think that they are going to own Joe. I know he knows the defense, but they know him. They know how slow he is, how old he is. Quentin Williams going to be eaten up, and I think there will be multiple turnovers. So it's just a matter of, can Trevor Simeon take advantage of the turnovers? He was actually struggling to do so against the Commanders. So that doesn't make me feel too confident against, the elite Browns defense. But I think this is a game that definitely can go either way. I actually think this is the closest, like 50-50 game in a long time. But I am going to, betting man, gun to the head, I'm going with the Browns 17-14.
Okay. Woody, apparently predictable, according to Dakota. Very predictable, and maybe predictable for me. I fully think the Jets can win this game. The Browns defense scares the crap out of me. I think the Jets defense is going to hold this. I know Amari Cooper had like 250 yards. Yeah, there was against the crappy Texans. We lit the Texans up. Like, come on. Like, okay, that ain't happening on the Jets, and maybe it ends up happening. I look like an idiot, but I just think they're going to be able to contain this Browns offense. Joe Flacco cannot move. He has the mobility of a parked car, and that parked car is going to be behind that offensive line where the Jets are just going to be raining hellfire on him all night long, which I think puts a ceiling on what they could do. Now, what scares that out of me is exactly what you just said about Simeon, is that, I'm afraid him and Joe Flacco are going to have a contest on, who's giving more Oprah Winfrey gifts under their seats away. That's the thing where I'm getting a little bit more concerned from that perspective. But despite that, I think they will overcome it. I have the Jets winning 21-19 in a tight, sexy, primetime matchup. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, we agree with them with those margin of victories. Or defeat, just the margin. It's going to be, it should be a close game. This should actually be super exciting for like the casual fans that are not fans of the Browns or the Jets. That are looking for a good football game. I'm not saying this is going to be a good football game. It's probably going to be ugly and hideous and horrible, but it could be a close game. So it should be exciting still at 11 p.m.
Apparently, my father does not agree. 24-3 Browns. He's been predicting, I think, blowouts all year of the Jets losing. I think he's just mad that I brought up Tyron Smith. He's a Cowboys fan as a possible option for the Jets. I think he was just a little unhinged about that, quite frankly. But that's fine. Okay, you could dance in those waters if you prefer. But either way, should be a doozy. Woody, we won't talk to you on Sunday. You get a little time off, some spent time with the holidays and making a trip. You guys can all enjoy that. But we will circle back around the following Sunday, for the final game day Woody preview. Jets, Patriots, and I'm imagining there's going to be some storylines in that one. There's going to be some topics in which to discuss, my friend. So I'm looking forward to that, pal.
Yes, always are. New year, same old Jets. Can't wait.
Well, that's going to be great. Guys, we'll have Tyson from Let's Talk Jets on tomorrow, and then Connor Long, the 12-year-old super content creator that's trying to steal my job. He will join us for Boy Green Daily on Saturday morning, and then Dom C will be stepping in for Woody on Sunday. And then, like I said, we'll get Woody back the following Sunday. We'll have Taylor Kyles, who covers the New England Patriots, and all that fun jazz. I'm looking forward to it. And, of course, we'll be back later this evening. Oh, God, that's going to be like 1 a.m. Well, we will be here for that. If anyone else will be as well for the post game show for that'll be somewhere around like 1 a.m. or 12:30 at night or something. God knows. See, that's a level of commitment we have to this show, and we'll see if it's a post game party or post game therapy. TBD. Woody, thanks, brother. Enjoy the holiday, pal. Happy New Year.
Yes, absolutely. Happy New Year to everybody. Jets forever. And we'll see. Let's just smack Joe Flacco around. Let's just
That's what I'm
smack him
talking about.
around. Just make him regret ever getting up off that couch. I'm sure both knees quaked while he did it. All right. Time to just smack that old man down.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Again, I think the Browns are making the playoffs no matter what, but allow them to do it on someone else's watch, not the Jets. Allow them to do it on someone else's watch. That's what I'll be hoping for. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, we'll see you later, way late this evening, for a post-game show about 2 hours after the final whistle. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody.